The quantum detection array beneath the Atacama Desert sparked to life at exactly 3:47 a.m. Earth Standard Time. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings in disbelief, her hands trembling as she initiated verification protocols. After 20 years of scanning deep space for signs of advanced civilization, the array had detected something unprecedented: a controlled quantum field distortion approaching the solar system. "Director Harris, you need to see this," she transmitted through the facility's secure channels. Within minutes, the underground command center filled with bleary-eyed scientists and military personnel. The massive holographic display showed what appeared to be a tear in space itself, expanding and contracting with precise regularity. "It's artificial," Dr. Chen explained, highlighting the pattern analysis. "The quantum fluctuations follow a mathematical sequence far too precise to be natural." "Someone's coming." The revelation triggered Earth's long-prepared first contact protocols. In the century since discovering quantum physics could enable faster-than-light travel, humanity had prepared extensively for this moment. What the approaching visitors didn't know was that Earth had already mastered technologies they thought impossible. The visitor emerged from the quantum distortion 3 days later, a massive vessel that dwarfed anything humanity had publicly built. Its hull gleamed with an iridescent material that seemed to bend light itself. As it approached, it broadcast a message in multiple formats, including basic radio waves. "Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Hegemony, a collective of advanced civilizations bringing peace and prosperity to the galaxy. We come to welcome you into our fellowship." Behind the scenes, Earth's quantum sensors told a different story. The ship's energy emissions revealed weapons powered but masked, and its hull contained materials designed for planetary bombardment. More tellingly, the quantum scanning array detected signs of neural suppression technology, the kind used to control populations. In the Planetary Defense Council chamber beneath Mount Cheyenne, General Maya Rodriguez presented the findings. "They're following a pattern we've seen in their transmissions to other worlds. They arrive as saviors, offering technology and protection. Once a planet accepts, they establish security posts that are actually control centers. Within a year, the world is fully subjugated." "How long have we been monitoring their communications?" asked Council Chair Zhang Wei. 3 decades, Rodriguez replied. "Our quantum intercept stations in the Kuiper Belt have been collecting their signals since we first developed the technology. They don't know we can decode their quantum encrypted transmissions." The Council faced a critical decision. Earth could reveal its true technological capabilities and risk immediate conflict, or play along with the Hegemony's deception while preparing a longer-term strategy. "What do we know about their actual technological level?" asked Dr. James O'Neill, Earth's leading quantum physicist. "Their quantum field manipulation is crude compared to ours," Chen explained. "They're using brute force methods that require massive energy expenditure. They haven't discovered quantum entanglement cascades or neural-linked AI systems. Their advantage has always been size and numbers, not sophistication." The Council's decision was unanimous. Earth would appear to accept the Hegemony's overtures while quietly preparing for the inevitable confrontation. They would let the Hegemony think they had found another primitive world to absorb into their empire. The Hegemony's diplomatic vessel landed 2 days later in a carefully prepared site in Geneva. Their representatives emerged wearing elaborate environmental suits, clearly expecting a primitive atmosphere. Earth's defenders noted with silent amusement that the suits were designed to protect against threats their scans should have revealed didn't exist. Ambassador Xerxes of the Hegemony spoke with careful condescension. "We are pleased to find such promising potential in your civilization. With our guidance, you will soon join the greater galactic community." United Earth Ambassador Maria Torres responded with carefully calculated humility. "We are honored by your presence and eager to learn from your wisdom." Behind her diplomatic smile, she knew that Earth's quantum computers were already mapping every detail of the Hegemony ship, analyzing their technology for weaknesses. As the days passed, the Hegemony's representatives grew increasingly confident in their deception. They offered basic technological knowledge, that Earth had surpassed centuries ago, all while probing for information about Earth's resources and defenses. They never noticed that their quantum scanners were being fed false data, showing them exactly what they expected to see: a developing world ripe for conquest. In secret facilities across the planet and throughout the solar system, humanity's true capabilities were being readied. Quantum-linked defense networks extended their consciousness through hidden satellites. Artificial intelligences evolved new strategies based on the hegemony's patterns, and deep beneath the surfaces of Mars and Europa, production facilities began manufacturing weapons that would give even the mighty hegemony pause. The game of deception had begun. The hegemony thought they were drawing Earth into their web of control. In reality, humanity was preparing to show the galaxy that the age of empire was about to end. The only question was whether the hegemony would realize their mistake before it was too late. They're requesting permission to establish a cultural exchange center near their landing site, Torres reported to the Council a week later. Based on the designs they've submitted, it's actually a planetary control node, identical to the ones they used on Proxima b and Tau Ceti Prime before subjugating them. Give them approval, Chair Zhang replied with a slight smile. Let them build their node. Our quantum interference field is ready. Every signal they think they're sending back to their fleet will actually go through our filters first. Let them play their game while we prepare to play ours. The first act was ending. The hegemony's trap was set, but they didn't realize they were the ones being ensnared. Earth's moment of revelation was coming, and with it, a fundamental shift in the galaxy's balance of power. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for this confrontation. Soon, they would show the hegemony why it's dangerous to underestimate a species that had fought its way up from the Stone Age to the stars. Commander Elena Reyes stood in Earth's quantum observatory beneath the Pacific Ocean, watching the hegemony's cultural exchange center take shape through an array of sensors that the aliens didn't know existed. Their construction crews worked with the confident efficiency of those who had built similar facilities on countless worlds. They had no idea that every piece of equipment they installed was being analyzed, every signal intercepted, every power signature cataloged. They're right on schedule, Dr. Chen noted, gesturing at a holographic display showing the facility's quantum signature. The control node at the center is exactly what we expected, a neural suppression array designed to gradually influence human behavior within a 1,000-kilometer radius. Reyes allowed herself a small smile. And our countermeasures, already active. The quantum interference field is perfect. They're seeing exactly the readings they expect from their test signals. Meanwhile, their surveillance systems are feeding them our carefully crafted false data streams. As far as they know, humans are already starting to show subtle signs of increased suggestibility. The hegemony's overconfidence had made them sloppy. They never questioned why Earth's governments had accepted their presence so easily, never wondered why they encountered no resistance to their subtle probes and scans. Like countless conquerors before them, they assumed technological superiority meant absolute advantage. In orbit, hegemony ships maintained what they thought was a subtle watch over the planet. Their crews never noticed the quantum-shifted satellites passing right through their sensor networks, or the microscopic smart dust particles attaching to their hulls, mapping every detail of their technology. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Admiral Sarah Cooper reviewed the latest intelligence. Their entire strategy relies on neural control, she explained to the assembled military leadership. They've never encountered a species with our level of quantum-enhanced neural shielding. They don't even know it's possible. The holographic display showed the true scope of Earth's defenses, a vast network of quantum-linked systems extending throughout the solar system. Every asteroid, every orbital path, every seemingly empty patch of space could become a weapons platform in an instant. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for this moment, driven by the memory of countless wars and the determination to never be conquered. Phase 2 of their plan begins tomorrow, Intelligence Director Marcus Wong reported. They're bringing in what they call educational vessels, actually troop transports carrying their neural control specialists. They expect to begin mass influence operations within a week. The assembled leaders shared knowing looks. The hegemony was about to learn some harsh lessons about humanity's true capabilities. But timing would be crucial. Revealing their hand too early could warn other hegemony forces before Earth was ready. In the Geneva facility, Ambassador Xerxes was growing increasingly pleased with his mission's progress. Every report showed the human population beginning to respond to the subtle neural influences. Soon, Earth would join the countless other worlds that had peacefully accepted hegemony rule. "Your people show remarkable adaptability," he told Ambassador Torres during one of their regular meetings. "The transition to hegemony guidance is proceeding faster than expected." Torres maintained her carefully crafted expression of grateful subordination. "We are eager to learn from those more advanced than ourselves." Behind her diplomatic smile, she knew that Earth's quantum AI systems were using these very conversations to refine their models of hegemony psychology and decision-making patterns. The first hint that something was wrong came 3 weeks into the hegemony's operation. Their neural specialists began reporting strange anomalies in their influence patterns. Some humans seemed completely immune to their control efforts, while others showed signs of compliance that were just a little too perfect. "Run a level 2 diagnostic on the control node," Xerxes ordered. "These variations are outside acceptable parameters." The diagnostic showed nothing wrong with their equipment. The hegemony technicians triple-checked their systems, never realizing they were seeing exactly what Earth's quantum computers wanted them to see. The truth, that their neural control signals were being completely neutralized and replaced with false feedback, was hidden behind layers of carefully crafted deception. Meanwhile, humanity's real preparations accelerated. In hidden facilities across the planet, quantum-enhanced soldiers trained with weapons that could shake stars. Orbital defense platforms disguised as debris waited silently for activation codes. And beneath the surface of Mars, vast production facilities manufactured technology that would make the hegemony's greatest weapons look like children's toys. "They're calling for reinforcements," Dr. Chen reported, monitoring the quantum intercepts. "They think they need stronger neural transmitters to overcome what they believe is unexpected human neural resilience." Chair Zhang smiled. "Perfect. Let them bring in their bigger ships. Every vessel they commit to this operation is one more we can study, one more that will be trapped when we finally reveal ourselves." The hegemony's response force arrived 2 days later. A fleet of massive ships carrying what they considered to be irresistible neural control technology. They took up positions in high orbit, their crews confident in their overwhelming technological superiority. They never noticed the quantum fields shifting around their vessels, never detected the microscopic probes mapping every detail of their ships, never realized that each passing moment brought them closer to a revelation that would shake their empire to its foundations. In the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Cooper watched the hegemony fleet with grim satisfaction. "All pieces are in place. Earth's defensive grid is fully operational. Quantum displacement fields are charged. The moment they activate their enhanced neural transmitters, we'll be ready," General Rodriguez finished. "The only question is whether they'll realize their mistake before or after we demonstrate humanity's true capabilities." The trap was set. The hegemony, believing they were springing their own carefully laid plans, had walked right into humanity's web. Soon, very soon, they would learn why it's dangerous to underestimate a species that had spent its entire history preparing for moments exactly like this. The first sign that the hegemony's confidence was cracking came during an emergency meeting of their command staff. Fleet Commander Voss paced before the assembled officers, his usually immaculate uniform showing signs of stress. 3 weeks of maximum neural transmission power, and still no systematic control over the human population, he growled. "Worse, our readings make no sense. One day a region shows complete susceptibility. The next, total resistance. It's as if they're playing with us." In truth, they were. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, Earth's quantum computing center processed every hegemony transmission, feeding back precisely calculated false data designed to confuse and frustrate their would-be conquerors. The hegemony's response was predictable. They escalated. Massive ships began appearing at the edge of the solar system, establishing a blockade designed to cut Earth off from any potential outside contact. They didn't realize that Earth had never needed external support in the first place. "The blockade is complete," reported Admiral Vax of the hegemony's Third Fleet. "No ship will enter or leave this system without our knowledge. Soon, they'll understand the consequences of resisting our neural guidance." In the Planetary Defense Council chamber, Director Wong displayed the latest intelligence. They're deploying their standard isolation protocol, the same one they've used to break resistant worlds in the past. Cut off trade, prevent any outside communication, and wait for the population to submit. Dr. O'Neill actually chuckled. "They have no idea we've been completely self-sufficient for centuries, do they? Every city on Earth is a closed ecosystem. Our quantum replication technology can produce any resource we need." But Earth's leaders weren't content to simply weather the blockade. They had a more ambitious plan in mind. The hegemony ships, focused on preventing conventional space travel, remained blind to Earth's quantum tunneling technology. Dr. Chen supervised the first test from the Quantum Observatory. A small vessel, barely larger than a shipping container, disappeared from Earth orbit and reappeared instantly 50 light-years away, well past the hegemony blockade. The ship carried something far more valuable than physical cargo. It carried information. "Data packet successfully transmitted to the Centauri Alliance," she confirmed. "They're very interested in our evidence of hegemony neural control technology. Apparently, several of their worlds have experienced mysterious cases of mass social compliance recently." The hegemony's blockade was becoming their greatest strategic mistake. By trying to isolate Earth, they had given humanity a perfect opportunity to contact other civilizations who had suffered under their rule. Earth's quantum vessels slipped through their barrier like ghosts, carrying proof of the hegemony's true nature to dozens of worlds. Ambassador Torres continued her meetings with Xerxes, watching his growing frustration with carefully concealed satisfaction. "We're concerned about the trade restrictions," she said with perfectly calculated anxiety. "Our economy depends on interstellar commerce. Perhaps this will help you understand the benefits of fuller integration with the hegemony," Xerxes replied, believing he was pressing an advantage. In reality, Earth's quantum industrial base was operating at full capacity, preparing for the moment when pretense would no longer be necessary. The hegemony's next move was to begin seizing human ships, or at least the ships they could detect. Their commanders celebrated capturing vessels loaded with basic resources, never realizing these were carefully crafted decoys designed to reinforce their misconceptions about Earth's technological level. Meanwhile, Earth's true fleet remained hidden, stored in quantum-shifted space that the hegemony sensors couldn't penetrate. These ships represented the pinnacle of human military technology, vessels that could manipulate gravity itself, armed with weapons that could unmake matter at the quantum level. "Their frustration is reaching a critical point," General Rodriguez observed, watching the hegemony fleet's movements. "They're starting to realize that something about this situation doesn't make sense. Their neural control should have worked by now. The blockade should be causing shortages and unrest." "Let them wonder," Chair Zhang replied. "Every day they spend trying to solve this puzzle is another day we have to prepare, and another day for our quantum ships to spread the truth to other worlds." The hegemony's own communications were becoming increasingly frantic. Earth's quantum intercepts revealed heated debates among their leadership. Some argued for immediate military action, while others warned that something about Earth's resistance pattern was unprecedented and required further study. In orbit, the hegemony fleet commanders watched Earth's cities gleaming at night, showing no signs of the energy shortages their blockade should have caused. They monitored human communications, finding no evidence of the panic and social breakdown that their isolation strategy had always produced before. "How are they doing this?" Commander Voss demanded during another strategic meeting. Every analysis shows they shouldn't have the technology to resist our neural control or survive our blockade. Yet they continue as if nothing we do affects them at all. The answer was hidden in plain sight, in the quantum realm that the hegemony had never fully understood. Earth's civilization had evolved along a completely different technological path, achieving capabilities that their would-be conquerors had never imagined possible. As the blockade entered its second month, the first reports of unrest reached the hegemony fleet, not from Earth, but from their own subject worlds. The quantum ships had done their work well, spreading evidence of the hegemony's neural control program to civilizations across the galaxy. The empire that had relied on secrecy and manipulation was finding its methods exposed to the light. In the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Cooper watched the growing chaos with satisfaction. "They still don't realize that their greatest defeat isn't coming from our resistance," she noted. "It's coming from the truth we're spreading to every world they've ever subjugated." The hegemony had intended to isolate Earth. Instead, they had given humanity the perfect opportunity to tear their empire apart from within. Their blockade, meant to demonstrate their power, was becoming a symbol of their impotence against a civilization they had fatally underestimated. High above Earth, the hegemony's flagship, Eternal Dominion, hung like a dark star, its massive form bristling with weapons. Supreme Commander Arxis stood on his command deck, watching the supposedly primitive world through quantum-enhanced viewers. 3 months of failed neural control attempts and an ineffective blockade had forced the hegemony to accept an uncomfortable truth. They had completely misunderstood their opponent. "Show me the analysis again," Arxis ordered. His staff quickly projected a holographic display of Earth's known capabilities, or rather, what they thought they knew. Every piece of data had been carefully crafted by Earth's quantum computers to tell exactly the story humanity wanted them to believe. In the Atacama facility, Dr. Chen monitored the hegemony's growing frustration through quantum intercepts. "They're finally starting to ask the right questions," she reported to the Council. "But they're still working from fundamentally flawed assumptions about our technological base." The hegemony's next move proved her point. They launched what they considered to be an undetectable surveillance operation, using their most advanced stealth technology to infiltrate Earth's atmosphere. The tiny probes, each no larger than a grain of sand, were designed to penetrate any primitive defense system. Earth's quantum defense grid detected them instantly. Rather than destroy the probes, humanity's AI systems fed them carefully constructed data. The hegemony would see exactly what Earth wanted them to see: apparent weaknesses and vulnerabilities that were actually elaborate traps. "Their probes are mapping what they think are our defense installations," General Rodriguez explained, standing before a global holographic display. "Every fake facility we've created is being documented exactly as planned. They're building their entire invasion strategy around targeting decoys." The hegemony's confidence began to return as their probes reported apparent success. They believed they had finally penetrated Earth's defenses, never realizing they were seeing only what humanity wanted them to see. Supreme Commander Arxis himself presented the findings to the Hegemony High Council via quantum transmission. "We've identified their primary military installations, power generation facilities, and command centers," he reported proudly. "Their technology is more advanced than we initially believed, but still well within our capability to overcome. We recommend immediate military action to establish full control." The High Council, frustrated by months of unexpected resistance, gave their approval. The hegemony began assembling the largest invasion fleet in their history. Ships arrived daily from across their empire, gathering in the outer solar system. They thought they were being subtle. In reality, every vessel was being thoroughly analyzed by Earth's quantum sensors. Ambassador Xerxes continued his diplomatic charade, meeting regularly with Ambassador Torres. "We remain committed to a peaceful integration," he assured her, even as his fleet assembled. "The hegemony wishes only to guide humanity toward its full potential." Torres maintained her role perfectly. showing just the right mix of concern and resignation. "We understand," she replied, her words carrying layers of meaning that Xerxes completely misinterpreted. "Earth will do what is necessary." In secret facilities throughout the solar system, humanity's real military capabilities waited. Quantum-shifted space stations housed weapons that could tear apart the fabric of reality itself. Artificial intelligences evolved combat strategies at speeds the hegemony couldn't comprehend. And deep within Mars, a special project neared completion, one that would change the nature of space warfare forever. "The hegemony's fleet will be fully assembled within 2 weeks," Admiral Cooper reported to the Council. "Over 4,000 capital ships, 10,000 support vessels. They're committing nearly 40% of their total military strength to this operation." Chair Zhang nodded slowly. "They still think this is about conquering Earth. They haven't realized that we've been using their own aggression to draw their forces exactly where we want them." The Council chamber's displays showed the true scope of humanity's preparation. Every hegemony ship position was known, every communication intercepted, every weakness cataloged. Earth's quantum computers had evolved perfect counters to their tactics and technology. But humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their advanced technology or hidden fleets. It was information. Earth's quantum tunneling ships had spent months spreading proof of the hegemony's neural control program to every corner of their empire. Resistance movements were growing on 100 worlds. The hegemony's own subjects were beginning to question their rulers. "Their invasion fleet is a symbol of their desperation," Dr. O'Neill observed. "They know their control is slipping across the empire. They think crushing Earth will restore their authority. Instead, they're about to provide us with the perfect opportunity to break their power forever." In orbit, the hegemony ships continue to gather, their commanders confident in their overwhelming military superiority. They studied the data from their probes, planning their attacks on facilities that didn't really exist. They prepared neural control transmitters of unprecedented power, never realizing that humanity had long since transcended such crude methods of manipulation. "The final pieces are in place," General Rodriguez reported. "Our quantum defense grid is fully charged. The Mars project is ready for activation. Every hegemony ship is being tracked by multiple targeting systems." "And the other worlds?" Chair Zhang asked. "Our quantum ships have completed their missions. 217 civilizations have received proof of the hegemony's true nature. They're waiting, watching what happens to Earth. Our response to this invasion will determine the future of the galaxy." In his flagship, Supreme Commander Arxis reviewed the invasion plans one final time. Everything seemed perfect. His massive fleet would strike Earth's defenses at their weakest points, quickly establishing control over the planet's key infrastructure. Neural control transmitters would pacify the population. Within days, Earth would be just another subject world of the eternal hegemony. He never noticed the quantum fields shifting around his ships, never detected the microscopic changes in reality itself as humanity's true defenses powered up. The hegemony thought they were about to launch the greatest military operation in their history. In reality, they were about to learn why humanity had spent centuries preparing for exactly this moment. The day of the hegemony's invasion began with a simple signal from Supreme Commander Arxis. "Commence Operation Final Authority." 4,000 capital ships and their escorts powered up their weapons, confident they were about to demonstrate why the hegemony had ruled the galaxy unopposed for millennia. In Earth's Quantum Command Center, Dr. Chen watched the enemy fleet's movements with calm satisfaction. "They're following the exact attack pattern our AI predicted. Every ship is precisely where we need it to be." Chair Zhang nodded to Admiral Cooper. "Initiate the Mars Protocol." Deep beneath the red planet's surface, a device unlike anything the hegemony could imagine spun to life. Its quantum processors, linked through dimensional space to every particle of the solar system, began their work. Reality itself seemed to shiver. The hegemony fleet launched their first strike, a massive barrage of energy weapons and quantum-tipped missiles designed to overwhelm Earth's perceived defenses. The attack struck their targets perfectly, destroying the facilities their probes had identified. Supreme Commander Arxis allowed himself a smile of satisfaction. That smile vanished moments later. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, confusion evident in his voice. We're showing zero energy signatures from our impacts. No secondary explosions, no radiation release, no debris." Because there was nothing to destroy. The targets had never been real, just quantum projections designed to draw the hegemony's fire. Earth's actual defense installations remained hidden, untouched, waiting. "Launch the neural control satellites," Arxis ordered. "Maximum power to all transmitters." Thousands of neural control devices activated simultaneously, bathing Earth in waves of quantum energy designed to subdue any resistance. On the surface, humans went about their business, completely unaffected. The hegemony's most powerful control technology might as well have been a gentle breeze. That's when Earth revealed its first true weapon. The Mars Protocol reached full power. Suddenly, every hegemony ship found itself surrounded by quantum distortion fields that bent space itself. Their shields, designed to stop energy and matter, were useless against alterations in the fabric of reality. "What's happening?" Arxis demanded as warning signals blazed across his command deck. "How are they doing this?" The answer came from a transmission that cut through all hegemony communications channels. Ambassador Torres's face appeared on every ship's screen, but her diplomatic facade was gone. In its place was the confident expression of someone who had been waiting for this moment. "You assumed that because we weren't part of your empire, we must be primitive," she declared. "You never considered that isolation might have forced us to develop technologies you never imagined. Allow us to demonstrate." Earth's quantum defense grid activated. Hidden installations throughout the solar system revealed themselves. But they didn't launch conventional attacks. Instead, they began altering the fundamental forces holding the hegemony ships together. Weapons wouldn't fire. Engines failed to respond. Neural control transmitters turned inward, affecting the hegemony's own crews. The mighty invasion fleet found itself nearly powerless, trapped in a web of quantum manipulations beyond their comprehension. But this was more than just a military victory. At that same moment, quantum ships emerged from hidden jumps near every major world in the hegemony's empire. Each broadcasted proof of the neural control program, showed the invasion of Earth, and demonstrated how to counter the technology that had kept populations compliant for generations. The effect was instantaneous. Across the galaxy, resistance movements that had been quietly preparing rose up. Colonial governors found their neural control systems mysteriously failing. The careful manipulations that had maintained the hegemony's power for centuries unraveled in hours. "Your empire wasn't built on superior technology or culture," Torres continued, her transmission reaching every hegemony ship and colony. "It was built on neural manipulation and the assumption that isolation means weakness. Humanity's history taught us different lessons. We learned that isolation forces innovation, that adversity breeds strength, that preparation and patience matter more than brute force." In the Quantum Command Center, Chair Zhang watched the revolution spreading across the galaxy. "Send the final signal," he ordered. Throughout the solar system, quantum fields shifted. The hegemony fleet watched in disbelief as humanity's true military power revealed itself. Massive stations emerged from quantum-shifted space, ships of designs they had never imagined cloaked around their positions, and in near-Earth orbit, installations that dwarfed anything the hegemony had built shimmered into view. "You have a choice," Torres informed the surrounded fleet. "Surrender and help us establish a new galactic society based on genuine cooperation, or be destroyed by the very forces you dismissed as primitive." Humanity spent centuries preparing for this moment. The age of neural control and forced submission is over. Supreme Commander Arxis stared at his tactical displays, watching as centuries of hegemony dominance crumbled. The neural control technology that had maintained their power was being systematically neutralized across the galaxy. Their military advantage had been stripped away by technology they couldn't understand, and the supposedly primitive humans had orchestrated all of it. "We surrender," he transmitted finally. The hegemony surrenders. The revolution lasted less than a day. Without neural control to maintain their power, and with their military might neutralized by Earth's quantum technology, the hegemony's empire collapsed. In its place, a new galactic civilization began to emerge, one built on genuine cooperation and mutual respect rather than domination and control. In the aftermath, as representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered on Earth to form a new galactic council, Dr. Chen found herself working with former hegemony scientists. They were astonished by the quantum technologies humanity had developed, by the different paths Earth's isolation had forced them to explore. "We spent so long controlling others that we forgot to advance ourselves," one former hegemony researcher admitted. "Your people took a different path. You advanced by overcoming challenges rather than suppressing them." Admiral Cooper, watching ships from newly liberated worlds arrive in Earth's orbit, reflected on humanity's journey. "We always knew we weren't alone in the galaxy," she mused. "So we prepared. We developed. We waited. And when the moment came, we proved that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to turn isolation into innovation, to transform the challenge of survival into the power to forge our own destiny." The galaxy would never be the same. The age of empire and neural control had ended. In its place, a new era of genuine cooperation and advancement began, and it all started because a supposedly primitive, isolated world had spent centuries preparing to show the galaxy a better way.